Today we are going to learn an interesting story, The Snake and the Mirror. The story was written by Vaikom Basheer, a Malayalam fiction writer, and translated by V. Abdullah. The story is narrated by a doctor to a group of people. The doctor started narrating the story by asking a question to the crowd. Has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra. Everyone in the crowd became silent and the doctor continued. It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at a restaurant and came back to my small rented room. I heard a noise from the above when I opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. My room is a small rented room where there is no electricity. So I lighted the kerosene lamp which is on the table. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were very meager. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with some shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat and a not so white vest. I took off my black coat, vest, shirt and hung them up. My room had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam of the wall. There was a regular traffic of rats running on the beam. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down but I couldn't sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for little air. But the wind god seemed to have taken holiday. There was no wind blowing outside too, it was hot. So I went back into the room and sat on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book. I opened the Materia Medica, which is a medical encyclopedia book. Then I took a look into the mirror and I felt myself very handsome. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Again I heard that sound from above. I took a close look at my face into the mirror and made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. After all, I was a bachelor and a doctor. Again, I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. And I decided I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. Again came that noise from above. I got up, lit a beedi and paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. I would get married to a woman doctor who is fat and had plenty of money. Fat for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. With such thoughts in my mind, I continued to look myself into the mirror. There were no sounds from above. It was silent. Suddenly there came a dull thud, as if a rubber tube had fallen. No sooner had I turned that a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. I didn't jump, I didn't tremble, I didn't cry out because there was no time to do such things. Slowly the snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my arm above the elbow. Its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. Death lurked just 4 inches away from my face. Suppose if it struck. There was no medicine in the room. I was a foolish and stupid doctor. As I sat motionless, something surprising happened. God has listened to my prayer. The snake turned towards the mirror and looked at its own reflection. Then the snake slowly slithered on the table and sat in front of the mirror. Several thoughts came in my mind. Was it admiring its own beauty like me? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using an eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? While the snake was busy looking at itself in the mirror, I quietly got up from the chair and ran towards the door. Then I suddenly jumped to the yard and ran as fast as I could. Finally, I reached a friend's house and escaped safely. The next day, I returned to my room with some of my friends to check my room. I was shocked. A thief had stolen almost all of my belongings, but the thief had left behind one thing as a final insult to me. What was that, doctor? It was my vest, the dirty one. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness, the rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with water and soap. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? Somebody from the crowd asked the doctor. The doctor said, I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty.